Why? Why 20th Century Fox? How could you make this movie any worse? It's The Predator. How could you fuck it up so bad? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Mr. H here, and you've all probably seen The Predator by now. You've probably seen the ending to The Predator, and you're all probably equally as shocked as me. Now, if you're not aware, there was a whole bunch of deleted scenes for the film. In fact, there's been 3 confirmed deleted scenes for the film. One was going to be just one person rocking up at the end, and unconfirmed. That was it. There was going to be no confirmation of who they were. It was just going to be an unnamed body with a facehugger-esque breathing mask on. The second one, which I did a video on recently, which we'll touch on a little bit because it ties into this third fuck up, I guess you could say, was going to be Ripley. Now, that was confirmed. It's had Ripley on the name tag. In the Instagram post, it was confirmed it was going to be Ripley. They even stated very, very clear cut, we've got a stand-in for Sigourney Weaver, because obviously, you know, what's the point in getting Sigourney Weaver just to rock up to have her face covered up, right? Doesn't make any sense. So, the third one, which ties into this, has now been revealed. And you read the title. Yeah, it was going to be NEWT. NEWT from Aliens was going to rock up. She was going to be the Predator killer. Well, I mean, what do you say about this? Like, there's nothing. I don't know. I've got to rearrange myself. I'm just so. Yeah, I don't understand. So anyway, let's break down the news, and let's discuss how it ties into the Ripley news. So I did that video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. A lot of you guys found it quite funny, so that's good, I guess. But a lot of people were defending 20th Century Fox, saying no. Definitely, that doesn't mean it was going to be, you know, Ellen Ripley. It could have been Amanda Ripley. Well, look, 2 things there, chum. Doesn't make any sense. Ripley wasn't born until like 20... I don't know, like the 100 years into the future or something insane like that. Basically, quite far into the future. So, it doesn't make any sense. So I can see why a lot of people would be like, oh, okay, it's going to be, you know, an ancestor of Ripley. Yes and no. You wouldn't have mentioned Sigourney Weaver if it was going to be an ancestor. There's no need to mention Sigourney Weaver, is there really? There's no need to have a stand-in. You know, ancestors don't always look alike. I don't look like my ancestors. They don't look like me. It's not identical. Come on. You know, we're past that part of cinema where everyone has to look the fucking same because, you know, there's no imagination anymore. So it was definitely going to be Sigourney Weaver. It's going to be 100% Ellen Ripley. Because now NEWT was going to be in it. Don't sit there and tell me it was going to be an ancestor of NEWT. It's not. It's literally got exactly the same name. It was going to be NEWT. And they were trying to tease some kind of time travel. Which a lot of people have gone, again, because I read the comments. I don't always reply, but I read the comments. And a lot of people have said, oh yeah, but they teased it in Predator 2. No, they didn't. That was supposed to be hinting that they're long-lived. That's all it was supposed to be hinting, because there was a tie-in comic and stuff like this as well. It was just going to hint that they were long-lived, not that they time travel. 20th Century Fox, what are you doing? None of this makes any sense. And I said it in the Ripley video. It's just like you go down the zoo and you see monkeys flinging shit everywhere. This was what 20th Century Fox were doing. They were just flinging crap at the walls and trying to see what stuck. And apparently none of it, because ultimately we ended up with some stupid Iron Man Predator thing anyway. So none of it stuck. You didn't like any of your decisions. And, I mean, quite rightly so. Why? None of this makes any sense. You call in Ellen Ripley the Predator killer. Why? Because that's part and parcel of these Instagram posts, right? Is that it's still confirmed that they were going to be the Predator killer. So there's a few things to take into account with this. We call them the Predator.
Well, we took a vote. Predator's cooler, right? Fuck yeah.
Okay, that's confirmed in The Predator. We gave them that name. They didn't call themselves that, right? So why would their own piece of like machinery then call it the Predator killer? Which is what it is, because it's a gift from the yautja, the predators, and they called it the Predator Killer. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Why does the pod have a number 3 on it? Doesn't make any sense. Why would Ellen Ripley be called the Predator Killer? She's from the future. She's not encountered any predators. I mean, we've seen her story from start to finish. What? We've seen NEWT's story from start to finish, and she died as she was a little girl. This is not a little girl. I mean, you know, I'm not an expert on the female anatomy or just anatomy in general, but she's a little bit more developed than a little woman, you know, like a little girl, isn't she? Clearly. Very, very clearly. So, we've seen her story from start to finish. We've seen her die, for God's sake. We've seen, you know, we've seen her buried on Furia 161. It just gets better and better. It's the gift that just keeps giving. This film, how could you get it so wrong? How? So there you go. That is the end. That is the end of this tale. Hopefully, anyway. I hope it's the end of this epic journey that we've had on the Predator. It amazes me that out of any of these ideas, they didn't just have Dutch. Why didn't you have Dutch or Royce? Why? The most interesting part of all of this is, I mean, that's really, really interesting. The decisions that people have made not to have, like, to have Dutch, not to have Dutch. You could have had Dutch. You could have had Royce. Ellen Ripley knew. Why? So dumb. So I mean, that's interesting in and unto itself, why they didn't choose to have, you know, the actual characters from the Predator movies turn up. Duh. But on top of that, it seems like 20th Century Fox may have been looking to tease not only time travel, but also an alternate alien timeline, which is awesome, I guess, dependent on how you look at it, because if you're going to have an alternate alien timeline, does it tie back into what Neil Blomkamp was doing? Is this potentially seeing a return to the Neil Blomkamp way of thinking? Neil Blomkamp has said he's done with his Alien 5 movie, his reboot of Alien 3, I guess you could call it. But this seems to kind of almost tease that in some regard. Not tease his movie, but tease the concept behind the movie in respect to an alternate timeline where, you know, they didn't die and they've branched off and they've lived part of their life. And apparently they were picked up by time-traveling predators. Jesus. So that's the news. And my opinion all rolled into one. I've got nothing else to really say on this. I mean, what can you honestly say about this? This is just a total. I mean, it's a joke, isn't it, from start to finish? To be perfectly honest, there's really not much else to say. This movie, you know, I can't understand why anyone keeps defending 20th Century Fox. They keep finding reasons to make, you know, their headcanon work with this film. And I used this analogy in the last one, right? This film is like McDonald's. We know it's bad, but we consume it anyway, and it's entertaining. That's how I viewed this film. It is entertaining. It's an entertaining film. I'd recommend anyone go and watch it because it's entertaining. The opening sequence especially is fucking awesome. But I don't see why anyone is defending this film. These are bad decisions. No matter what way you look at it, they're not very good decisions. They are really, really poor choices. And yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. I highly doubt any of this will be tied into what the Alien Anthology Instagram account has been teasing recently. They've been teasing something really, really big coming in 2019 with respect to the Alien universe. But I don't think that any of this is going to tie into that. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. It would be good if it did, but I don't think it will. I don't think any of this is going to tie into that. So yeah, there's nothing else really to say. I've got a lot of thoughts on this, but it's mainly insults, to be perfectly honest, about 20th Century Fox and the way they've handled this film. It's just bizarre. A lot of people have said, oh, you know, they cut it because, I'm just addressing some of the comments in the last video. They cut it because Ridley Scott didn't give the okay. He didn't connect these universes. Ridley Scott doesn't own Alien. He's not in charge of it. 20th Century Fox does. They've made these decisions. It was cut because it was cut. Who knows why it was cut? We don't know. But to say that it was Ridley Scott, no. He doesn't have a stake in this anymore. It was definitely not Ridley Scott, without a shadow of a doubt. You can confirm that, like that. It's confirmed it was definitely not Ridley Scott. So there's nothing else I can say. I want to hear your thoughts though. Newt from Aliens was gonna turn up in the Predator. What do you think? I mean, what do you think of this? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date on all the world of pop culture and movie news, and just some general, thoughts on movies like this, I guess. As always, if you like this video, give it a like and a share. Get this news out there. Show people how baffling this film is and just the production. Those that are current subscribers and stuff like that, Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year to everyone. This is the first video of the brand new year. 2019 is going to be a good one, I think, for the channel. Just to let everyone know, this is all changing. I'm between houses. Some bunch of people said I was homeless. I'm not. I live here. I'm just moving house. So I'm moving house, so this is why it's all sparse and there's not really much on the walls and stuff like that. But yeah, nothing else to say. I've been Mr. H. Take care.